Strobe Studios presents Michael Helgens and Greg Kilberger in The Watson Files. Coming to you from the illustrious Strobe Studios in the heart of America, this is Craig Dahlen. And now, let's join the doctor and see what story he has for us today.
Come in.
Oh, good evening, Doctor.
Yes, hello, Craig. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well, thank you. Did you have a good Memorial Day?
Yes, everyone likes a 3-day weekend.
They do indeed.
I understand we're going to be doing a live show at the end of this month. Is that correct, Craig?
Yes, it's going to be on June 23rd at Uptown Bill's in Iowa City.
And where can someone find out more details about this exciting event?
Well, just go to StrobeStudios.com.
Excellent.
Well, shall we get to tonight's story? I'm anxious to hear it.
No time like the present, Craig. Holmes and I had just returned from a visit to the Sherlock Holmes Museum in England. Remind me to tell you that story sometime. It's a good one. Anyway, we had just gotten back, and I was anxious to get some rest before getting back to work the next day when I received a call from Holmes. Hello.
Watson, I know you were looking forward to a little time away from me, but I require your assistance straight away.
That was quite a mess that you got us into. I could use a little time off.
Come now, Watson, you and I both know that I was in the right, and we eventually got everything all sorted out.
I suppose. So, what is it now?
Just make yourself ready and come outside. I'm waiting in your driveway. I'll fill you in on the way to the crime scene.
You're outside? Oh, seems I really don't have much choice then, do I? I'll be right out.
Good. That was quick.
I never know when you're going to call, so I try to keep ready.
Ever vigilant, eh? That's a good man.
So, what are we up against?
Murder.
Ah, whose?
The butler of Admiral Vincent Geldheimer.
Well, at least we know that the butler didn't do it this time.
It's difficult to make that assertion without seeing the body, but you're probably right.
So, how did he die?
We're not exactly sure. It seems that there was a fire and he jumped out of a third-story window.
Couldn't it have been the fall that killed him?
Perhaps, but Weathers doesn't seem to think so. Ah, this is the place.
It must not have been very much of a fire. There's only one fire truck.
Indeed.
There's Officer Weathers.
Jack, Spencer, thanks for coming.
Well, Max, let's see the poor bloke.
Sure, he's right over here.
He's a good ways from the house.
Dr. Samuelson figures he stood on the railing and jumped when the fire started.
Yes, I suppose that's possible.
The fire was pretty small and the truck got here quickly, so that no major damage was done.
Then why did he jump?
That's exactly what I'd like to know, which is why I called you.
I certainly wouldn't have jumped from the third story if there wasn't any real danger.
And where's the Admiral this evening?
He's been taken to the hospital to be treated for some minor smoke inhalation.
Then we shall pay him a visit, but first I think we'll have a look around the house, if you do not mind, and then I think perhaps Watson and I will stop for a drink.
Holmes, is this really the time?
Well, I can ask them not to release Admiral Geldheimer until tomorrow.
Thank you, Max. At least you understand the importance of a good vintage.
Don't encourage him.
Sorry, Doctor. Let me know if you two find anything interesting while you're inside.
Not a problem. Shouldn't we tell Officer Weathers what we found, Holmes?
All in due course, my dear Dr. Watson. All in due course. I haven't yet decided how the Admiral's business ledgers play a part in the butler's death.
But they show that his business was failing. He was about to go bankrupt.
Clearly, but how does killing his butler fix his money problems, and why the fire?
What can I get for you, gentlemen?
I'll have a seltzer water with lemon, please.
Scotch, neat.
Coming right up. Here you are, gentlemen.
Thank you.
That's good Scotch. Tell me, do you know Admiral Geldheimer's butler?
Sure, Lyle Markowitz. He comes in here from time to time, but you won't find him in here for a while.
Oh.
Yeah, they drew his numbers last night. He always plays the same ones.
You mean in the lottery?
Yep,
Is that so?
How much did he win?
20 million. Should be a pretty penny left even after Uncle Sam takes his cut.
That's lucky for him.
I'd say it was probably unlucky.
Sometimes you make me proud, Watson. I'm glad you've been paying attention.
I may be somewhat loath to admit it in front of you, but you might have taught me a few things in our time together.
Well, then perhaps you have also deduced the reason for the fire.
I'm afraid I'm still working on that one.
Well, at least we know now that he intends to save his business. Call Officer Weathers. I think it's time we paid the Admiral a visit.
You still haven't told me the reason for the fire.
There must remain some mystery to my methods, Watson. I can't teach you everything, lest you decide to go off and start taking cases on your own.
I don't think I could do this without you, old friend. But I'm sure you already know that.
I do indeed. But I'd like to hear you say it anyway.
No shortage of ego from you, at least. Ah, here is the Admiral's room.
And there's Officer Weathers.
So, what'd you find, Spencer?
Max, would you mind waiting in the hallway until I call for you?
I suppose.
You can listen from here if we leave the door open.
Come in.
I'm feeling a bizarre form of déjà vu just now.
Good afternoon, Admiral. My name is Spencer Holmes, and this is my associate, Dr. Jack Watson. We're working with the police on the investigation of your butler's murder.
Murder? But I thought the police said that he jumped to escape the fire.
Actually, that was the medical examiner. The police have determined, and rightly so, that Mr. Markowitz's death was the result of good old-fashioned murder.
But who would kill Lyle?
Can you think of no one?
What do you mean?
He means that you killed your butler.
That's preposterous.
That was rather blunt, Watson, but yes, you did kill your butler. Most likely because you knew he'd just won the lottery. It seems that the knowledge of his favorite numbers is known to several people at the very least. Watson, if you had a winning lottery ticket, what do you suppose you would do with it?
I suppose I'd want to keep it somewhere where no one would find it.
That is correct, which is why the Admiral here started the fire in his own house.
Like I told the police, the fire started accidentally, and I was lucky
Then
enough
why
to...
did the fire marshal find traces of an accelerant?
He what?
You set the fire yourself, knowing that Mr. Markowitz would remove the winning ticket from its hiding place in his quarters before fleeing.
No, that's not how it happened at all.
Oh, it most certainly did, and then you threw him from the balcony.
No,
Everyone lies at this point, so your continued denial is understandable, but you were once a man of honor. If you have any shred of your dignity left, I'd appreciate the truth now.
And if that isn't enough to convince you, then perhaps the knowledge that the police have been able to lift fingerprints from Mr. Markowitz's hands and arms where you grabbed him when he tried to defend himself will be sufficient.
Quite right.
I'm so ashamed. I didn't know what else to do. I had to save my business. You understand? My reputation was at stake.
Thank you. Officer Weathers, I believe that you should have enough to arrest the Admiral now.
Vincent Geldheimer, you are under arrest for the murder of Lyle Markowitz. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be held against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you? Yes, I do.
Just two more things to tidy up this case. I believe you will find the cause of all of this in the Admiral's pipe there.
Let's see. Yeah, there's something in here.
The lottery ticket, I presume.
Yep.
The pipe was the only thing small enough for him to take with him when the police took him to the hospital.
We'll make sure this gets to Mr. Markowitz's executor. Thanks for your help, Spencer. Jack? Come on. Let's go, Admiral.
Hold on, Weathers. Holmes, you said two things. What's the other one?
Yes. Well, this is actually the most important and interesting facet of the case, and it only presented itself moments ago.
Well?
You lied, Watson. For a man who feigns incredulousness at the mere hint of a prevarication on my part, you were fabricating all manner of evidence to convince the Admiral here. And you were actually quite convincing. Perhaps your acting is getting better.
Well, it seemed like you needed some help.
You didn't think that the jab at his honor would be enough to convince a man like the Admiral?
I guess we'll never know.
No, I suppose we'll not. I fear, though, that I've created a monster.
Perhaps you have, Holmes. Perhaps you have.
I guess it was a pretty big mistake for the butler to tell everyone his winning lottery numbers.
Indeed. He made it easy for the Admiral to know when he had won.
Was Mr. Markowitz's family able to collect his winnings?
They were indeed. They even sent a nice reward to Spencer and myself, which more than covered our trip to the museum in England.
That was gracious of them. So, what story are you going to share with us next week, Doctor?
Well, next week, I will tell you about the time Spencer was called in personally to investigate the death of the governor's campaign manager.
Sounds great. I'll be looking forward to it. Tonight's Watson Files adventure was written by Michael Helgens and directed by Scott Strosahl. Spencer Holmes and Dr. Watson were played by Michael Helgens and Greg Kilberger. Additional voices were provided by Steve Rimpici. Until next week, this is Craig Dahlen saying good night from Strobe Studios.
Was this on the phone?
It is.
Okay. Hello? No,
What's-
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Hello? That one I liked.
Did you?
Yes.
Hello.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Maybe you should say hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hello?
You people have a sickness. Okay.
How much did he win?
Watson's gonna do his line.
Yes, I am.
He mumbled it all together.
How much did he win? Not that much emphasis?
Not
Okay.
quite that much.
How much did he win? The lottery. That's no good. The lot. The large. No.
And bar sound. I was picturing Watson and Holmes in like a
Strip club?
what?
Karaoke
I
bar?
was thinking like a rave, like loud electronic music.
That would be entertaining.
What can I get for you, gentlemen?
I'll have a seltzer water with lemon, please.
Scotch. Neat.
Coming right up. What can I get for you, gentlemen?
I'll have a seltzer water with lemon, please.
Scotch. Neat.
Coming right up. What can I get for you, gentlemen?
I'll have a seltzer water with lemon, please.
Scotch. Neat.
Coming right up.
Oh, I enjoyed that.